Capricorns, welcome to my channel. Let's take a look at what the next 72 hours has in store. We're going to start off with the general themes. Any information that you may be looking for will be listed below. I will actually have my website up for you guys to book readings through there instead of via my email. So definitely check out the description and all of that for that information. But let's go ahead and get straight into the reading for my Capricorns. I have a card that's not supposed to be in here. What is the general themes coming up for my Capricorns for the next 72-hour window? What are the general themes? So the card that we have is Night Song, and it represents hidden talents. Some of you have talents that you have been a bit afraid to showcase and put out in the open, but you're really good at singing. You're really good at art. You're really good at tarot. You're really good at certain things that maybe you're kind of questioning whether or not you'll either make money if you did actually, pursue a career that's connected to your natural talents, or if there will be any judgment in you pursuing your talents and other people maybe not seeing your gift. You will be overcoming or realizing that you have to overcome certain fears that you have when it comes to putting yourself out there in this way. There also could be something that you're discovering that you're really good at as well. Like this could be learning a new skill and you realize like, oh wait, I'm actually really, really good at this skill and I could make some money from this. Now going into the next card, we have Joy, which is rejoicing in the present. This card did show up in reverse at first. So you could be realizing what's stealing your joy, and it could be an over focus on the future or even the past, and either feeling guilt in regards to the past or regret, or in terms of the future, you could be concerned with repeating certain mistakes over again, or if certain cycles are going to repeat over and over again, if I can talk. So you could be realizing that in order for you to genuinely be happy, you have to exist in the now, not in a way where you're ignoring the future, but being intentional about how you exist in the present so that your future naturally unfolds the way that it's supposed to. We also have, wrong deck. We also have ancestors, the love and legacy of our DNA. There could be a family relationship that could be bothering you in terms of you guys not being on communication or in communication or on the same page. This could be, a family member that you fell out of grace with after an argument, or a family member or even a parent that wasn't there, that wasn't emotionally involved, wasn't physically involved, and they could be trying to come into your life. And it's this question of whether or not you can genuinely forgive them for certain things or certain traumas that your family has put you through, just period. You guys could also have a strong presence of an ancestor around you, like a strong, strong presence of an ancestor, like being there in your dreams, being there physically with you. You could just feel their energy, especially if you just had someone who recently did pass in your family. I also have the Witch, the earthly weaver of the worlds. So to me, this card is like the magician card in the regular tarot, which talks about knowing what your potential is and not limiting yourself in terms of what you believe you can and cannot do. Now let's go deeper. Let's see what needs to be your focus during this time frame. Move these out of the way. What needs to be my Capricorn's focus over the next 72 hours? What needs to be your focus? So we have seeking calming water. And we have examining self-identity. So releasing emotions that are not yours. You could be emotionally taken on a lot of other people's emotional trauma, emotional weight, or you could be an empath where how other people feel starts to affect how you feel. So you got to make sure that there isn't like an energy enmeshment situation going on where you're now stressed out and overwhelmed because you have someone else around you, especially like a love interest, who's stressed out and overwhelmed and projecting that onto you. There's also like releasing emotions, period, that have been just pent up, whether this is frustration, anger, whatever this may be. Also examining where identity wise, certain things don't resonate with you anymore. You may have identified with certain friend groups, or you may have identified with, certain hobbies or certain habits in the past, but with you taking on new habits, new perspectives, new focuses, this puts you in a new identity. That's why sometimes it's so hard for us to shift into new spaces, because we are leaving an old identity that we assumed behind. Now let's go into what you're unaware of. What are my Capricorns currently unaware of going into the 72-hour window? We have Master, which talks about mastering the heart chakra. And we also have Manifest in reverse. So in order for you to manifest things that you're trying to bring into existence, you're going to have to master your emotions and master being tempted to go backward or to lose sight of your own potential. This is like the Magician card as well, but it's in reverse. So what you're unaware of, the only reason why you've been having maybe delays in certain manifestations is because there's been an imbalance on an emotional level that's been making you more worried or fearful in the process of you trying to manifest certain things for yourself. Now, Capricorns, let's go ahead and do a full-on spread for you guys to go deeper. Oh, okay. So the King of Pentacles flew out as the general energy, which is interesting. So the King of Pentacles talks about responsibility, time management, energy management, taking care of your physical health. Also trust, whether or not you feel like you can trust certain individuals. There could be someone else that you're dealing with romantically, a Capricorn, Taurus, or Virgo individual. Doesn't have to be an earth sign, but it's someone who you may feel like you can't trust. And it could be because they've done shady things in the past that makes you just a bit weary, or they may not be doing anything to really earn your trust either. The King of Pentacles in reverse also talks about like not wanting to be energetically used or even financially used. You could have somebody around you who's always having their hand out, asking you for money, asking you for favors, taking advantage of your niceness, and also the compassion that you may give for them. And you could be at your wit's end in regards to this. Okay. Some of you could be tired of a job where you could feel like you put a lot of your energy into how you show up, being, the best manager, employee that you could possibly be, and it may not be appreciated, or you may feel like you're undervalued in terms of pay. Now, going into career and finance specifically, we do have the Two of Wands here in reverse. So for my Capricorns who are currently looking for a job, you could feel like you have no choice but to maybe like consider some alternative options in the midst of you waiting for jobs to reach back out. For others of you, you could be working at a job that you feel like is just leaving you no choice in terms of either quitting or speaking up for yourself or putting your foot down. Okay, there could be a lot of stuff that's going on where it's like, okay, this is not what I signed up for. Now, going into what I see with love specifically, I do have the Justice card. So the Justice card talks about balance. It talks about harmony, fairness, and also karma. So for my singles, you guys may have been dealing with a karmic love interest or someone who came into your life and they were a lesson. They were to teach you either how to love yourself properly or what you're deserving of, or what a healthy, balanced relationship is supposed to look like. There was some sort of lesson attached to a previous relationship. With the Justice card, you could be looking for somebody who's more equally yoked with you. Or if some of you guys are actually dating right now, you could be actually meeting somebody who's very equally yoked with you. Somebody who's very balanced. They may be very supportive. They may be very fair. They consider how you may feel. For others of you, this Justice card could represent someone knowing that they have to make do on some sort of like infidelity or wrongdoing. Like they know that they have to take accountability, or they know that they have to apologize. They could be trying to do this, especially if this is a person that you're married to. Okay. But going into what I see for the advice, with the Two of Cups here, it's important that any connections that you have in your life during this time, that it's mutually, how do I say this? It's grounded, where both parties are mutually investing into the connection, where you're not overly extending yourself for the sake of keeping the relationship alive. Also with the Two of Cups, this does talk about like making sure that there is an emotional balance within you, and that you're not letting just little challenges or annoyances throw off your sense of balance, okay? But yes, definitely lean into people who are genuinely supportive of you and less into the people who are not. The challenge you may run into, I have the Ace of Wands. So this could be feeling like someone's actions are like only focused on what they want and what they can get out of a situation, and they do things not considering you. This could be a person that you're married to, a person you're in a relationship with, a family member, where things that they do start to affect you. Also with the Ace of Wands, you could be afraid to take action on something new. There could be a lot of fear on whether or not the results are actually going to pay off, or if this is going to be a failed effort. Now, going into the last card, this is going to represent the outcome of this time frame. The Four of Wands talks about entrepreneurship, home-based businesses. This talks about creativity, making money from creativity. So you guys could be focusing on things of that theme. Also, the Four of Wands talks about like celebrating something or being invited to some sort of celebration. So you could be invited to like a baby shower or a wedding or a party, or to celebrate some sort of milestone for a friend or a family member. The Four of Wands could also talk about if you guys are in a serious relationship and you guys have been going through the ringer, there could be a point to where you and your partner are talking about like how to better the relationship by the end of this time period, and possibly even talking about like taking the relationship to the next level. Whether that's like talking about marriage, or you guys moving back in together or moving in. But these are the themes that I see for you guys for this 72-hour window. I hope that this was helpful and that it did give you, I can't even talk, that it did give you insight. And I will talk to you guys in the next one. Bye, Capricorns.